Previous class, we discussed about consumer price index, wholesale price index, and we discussed about the Phillips curve. And we discussed 7 questions in regards to these three indices. Today's topic is business cycles and various phases of business cycles. Now, let's understand what is a business cycle. होता क्या है business cycle? समझते हैं, understand करते हैं इसको word by word. Let's quickly go through it. A business cycle, also known as an economic cycle, trade cycle, refers to the natural fluctuations in economic activity that an economy experiences over a period of time. These fluctuations are not periodic but are recurrent and affect various economic indicators. Not periodic but are recurrent. Periodic का मतलब होता है कि एक हफ्ता चला, उसके बाद 2 हफ्तों बाद फिर से आएगा, पीरियोडिक हो गया, मतलब कि एक पीरियड है, एक साइकिल है. साइकिल तो नहीं होगी, दैट्स व्हाट दे आर सेइंग. ये जो फ्लक्चुएशंस होती हैं साइकिल में तो नहीं आएंगी, बट रेकरेंट है, बार बार आ सकती है एंड अफेक्ट वेरियस इकोनॉमिक इंडिकेटर्स like GDP, gross domestic product. Because gross domestic product is all about the products we are producing in the particular country in a particular time limit. So, and the final goods and products we're talking about over here. Business is very important for any of these goods and services. Employment and income. That is also dependent on business cycle. Let's move further. Now, phases of a business cycle. So, a typical business cycle has 4 distinct phases, very simple to understand. First is expansion of boom, period of rapid economic growth. Key characteristics include rising GDP. So, businesses are rising, economy is expanding, national output is increasing. High employment, businesses are hiring and unemployment rate is falling. Increased demand, consumer spending and investment are high, which drives up prices and can lead to inflation. High profits, businesses are performing well and profits are high. Root cause क्या है? Often driven by an increase in aggregate demand, high investment and easy credit. So, boom में क्या क्या हो रहा है? GDP rise कर रही है, employment is on higher side, demand increase हो रही है, profits high हो रहे हैं और इसकी वजह से inflation भी बढ़ सकती है, ये बात. Next is peak. Now, peak marks the highest point of the business cycle. It is the turning point where the economy stops growing and is about to enter a contraction. At this stage, the economy is operating at or near full capacity and inflationary pressures are strong. That is the peak. Then comes contraction or recession. This phase is characterized by a decline in economic activity. Key characteristics include falling GDP. Economic output starts to shrink. A technical recession is defined as 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. Rising unemployment. Businesses reduce production and lay off workers. Decreased demand. Consumer spending and business investment fall. Falling profits. businesses experience reduced sales and profits. Root cause often triggered by factors like reduced consumer spending, higher interest rates, or external shocks. So, this all you can easily see in countries which are war prone, and expansion of boom you can easily see in countries where there is economic stability, there is political stability, and at the same time, it's a rising economy, it's a developing nation. So that is what is seen where we see expansion and peak. Now comes trough or depression. The trough is the lowest point of the business cycle. It's the bottom of the slump before the economy starts to recover. A severe and prolonged contraction is called a depression. It is marked by extremely high unemployment, low output, and widespread business failures. Then comes the recovery stage. This phase marks the beginning of a new cycle. The economy starts to grow again, unemployment begins to fall, and consumer confidence slowly returns. This period of revival eventually leads back to a full-fledged expansion. That's a recovery stage. Now let's look at the previous year questions from UPSC Civil Services IS Prelims exam. Now, economic growth is usually coupled with inflation. We understand that we have discussed it several times. So, explanation is given to us. During economic expansion, a phase of the business cycle, there's an increase in aggregate demand and general rise in prices, which is a key characteristic of inflation. Therefore, moderate inflation is typically seen as a byproduct of healthy economic growth. Which one of the following is likely to be the most inflationary in its effects? This we have seen earlier as well. So, repayment of public debt, borrowing from public to finance a budget deficit, borrowing from banks to finance a creation of new money to finance a budget deficit. We know the answer is creation of new money to finance a budget deficit. Because these topics they keep repeating, so questions are repeating as well. Don't worry, but that makes our knowledge very, very strong. So we are absolutely sure what we are doing on daily basis. Okay, so if you are with this particular videos, the videos which I'm making, so you will be going very strong with economics. Why is exams? Okay. So explanation: the creation of new money, deficit financing, to cover government spending directly increases the money supply in the economy. This massive injection of liquidity without a corresponding increase in goods and services causes a significant increase in aggregate demand. So creation of new money is the answer. We know the answer, right? We've been discussing this answer several times. You have to watch all the videos and you'll get to understand that why I'm saying we've covered it. We've covered it 2 to 3 times already. This is the root cause of the most severe forms of inflation. A rapid increase in the rate of inflation is sometimes attributed to the base effect. Yes. So base effect you already understand. We've covered base effect earlier as well. So, and the base year we all know that it is 2011 to 2012. Okay. Now the base year 2012 is the base year. So the impact of drastic deficiency in supply due to failure of crops, the rate of inflation, so the base effect. What is the impact of the surge in demand? A is not the right thing. Okay, the impact of surge in demand due to rapid economic growth. No, it is the impact of the price over the previous year. C is the right option on the calculation of inflation rate. C is the right answer. So, explanation of the base effect is the impact that the low base of previous year has on the current year's growth or inflation rate. Calculation, for example, prices. Calculation, if prices were very low last year, even a small increase in prices this year can result in a high percentage change, being inflation will be very high. Absolutely correct. In the context of the Phillips curve, which of the following is correct? So we have already seen Phillips curve, right? We know that in Phillips curve there's an inverse relationship. It shows a direct relationship. No, that is wrong. So it's an inverse relationship. C and D will check. Shows inverse relationship between inflation and unemployment, which is correct. C is the right option. Not D, inflation, economic growth. No, it is inflation and unemployment. So C is the right option. The Phillips curve illustrates the inverse trade-off between inflation and unemployment. The root cause is that when unemployment is low, a tight labor market forces businesses to raise wages to attract workers, which increase their costs and leads to higher prices, inflation. With reference to the Indian economy, consider the following statements. Inflation benefits the debtors. Inflation benefits the bondholders. Inflation always benefits the debtors. Bondholders who cover the inflation benefit negatively. We've discussed this earlier as well. So this is getting repeated. But it's good for us that we are on the right direction, and you will find similar questions being asked and you will be giving right answers. That gives a very strong, your preparation will be so strong, my dear friends. By capturing economics, you will be going very strong in your exams. The chances of getting selected, there are several folds if you're following these videos, what we are making right now. Okay, so it's really going in the right direction. So, uh, first statement: inflation benefits the debtors. Yes, it benefits the debtors. Debtors कौन होते हैं? जो पैसा उधार में लेते हैं, क्योंकि जब उन्होंने पैसा उधार में लिया था उस टाइम पे उस पैसे की वैल्यू ज़्यादा थी. जब ये उधार चुकाएंगे तब उस पैसे की वैल्यू गिर चुकी होगी. इसीलिए इन्फ्लेशन का फायदा डेटर्स को होता है जो कि पैसा उधार में लेते हैं. बॉन्ड होल्डर्स को बेनिफिट क्यों नहीं होता? सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट क्यों इनकरेक्ट है? सो वन ओनली इज द आंसर. बॉन्ड होल्डर्स को इसीलिए नहीं होता क्योंकि बॉन्ड्स का मतलब गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड्स, गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज की बात हो रही है. ठीक है, उनकी वैल्यू तो घट गई इन्फ्लेशन के बाद. ठीक है ना, तो जब वो बेचने जाएंगे तो उसकी वैल्यू घट चुकी है, रियल वैल्यू. तो जो इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू की हम बात करते हैं, रियल वैल्यू की बात करते हैं, वो घट चुकी होती है. अब देखते हैं. So the root cause of the effect is a decline in the purchasing power of money. Purchasing power of money decline हो गई. Debtors benefit हुए because they repay their loans with money that is worth less than the money they borrowed. Firstly, bondholders are creditors, lenders who are harmed by inflation. Bondholders क्यों lenders हैं? Bondholders वो लोग हैं जिससे जब गवर्नमेंट को पैसा लेना होता है ना, तो वो बॉन्ड से पैसा उठाती है. ये भी हमने डिस्कस किया है. ये भी हमारे क्या कहते हैं प्रीवियस सेशन में हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. करेक्ट. ओके, सो इसका आंसर हमें समझ में आ गया कि पहला स्टेटमेंट करेक्ट है, तो वन ओनली इज करेक्ट. ओके, आगे चलते हैं. सिक्स्थ पे. Which of the following activities constitute real sector in the economy? Real sector. Farmers harvesting their crops. Textile activities real growth sector in the economy का मतलब ये होना चाहिए. Farmers harvesting their crops, harvest कर रहे हैं. Textile में converting raw cotton into fabric. फाइनल प्रोडक्ट कहाँ आ रहा है? फैब्रिक फाइनल प्रोडक्ट है. हार्वेस्ट करना का मतलब हुआ अभी देखते हैं. कमर्शियल बैंक lending money to a trading company. No. Third नहीं है. Corporate body issuing rupee denominated bonds overseas. Answer is 1 and 2 only. The real securities are the physical goods, physical production, and exchange of goods and services. The statement from agriculture में हमें real good मिल रहा है, harvesting होने के बाद हमें real good मिल रहा है, right? And statement 2 manufacturing are part of the real sector. Statements 3 and 4 are part of the financial sector, which deals with transactions of financial assets. The root cause is that real sector activities directly contribute to the gross domestic product. So GDP को 1 and 2 ही contribute करेगा. In an economy, the relationship between production and employment is called relationship between production and employment is called Okun's law. ये हमने अभी तक पढ़ा नहीं है, ठीक है. ओकुन्स लॉ जो है हमने कहीं भी हमारे नोट्स में कभी देखा नहीं, बट इट्स बेटर हम इसको समझ लें. अगर आज तक नहीं पूछा गया है तो पूछ ले सकते हैं, राइट. So Okun's law states that a 1% increase in unemployment will result in a 2% decrease in a country's GDP. It highlights the direct and quantitative relationship between unemployment and production GDP. It is a key principle used to understand the root cause of the inverse relationship in the business cycle. Okun's law. और Okun's law भी धीरे धीरे हाँ, बट AI की वजह से Okun's law शायद इनवर्स रिलेशनशिप शायद ना रहे, क्योंकि एक डबल इफेक्ट तो बिल्कुल नहीं ले सकता. हाँ, यस, द थिंग इज with AI there is going to be lots and lots of, सब लोग नेगेटिव से डरा रहे हैं. AI का बहुत बड़ा पॉजिटिव इफेक्ट ये होने वाला है कि every person will be able to produce their own products along with their jobs. तो अगर आप जॉब पे हैं, you're doing a job and you're preparing for your IAS exams also, ठीक है, आप प्लीज करते रहें, जॉब भी ना छोड़ें, IAS की प्रिपरेशन भी ना छोड़ें, दोनों काम करें. और जब आपका हो जाता है एज अ IAS ऑफिसर, जो कि आई एम श्योर आपका होगा, इफ़ यू आर रेगुलर विद योर स्टडीज़, अगर आप रोज़ पढ़ाई कर रहे हो, आप जॉब के साथ भी रोज़ पढ़ाई कर रहे हो, आपका डेफिनेटली होगा. एंड हैव दैट faith in yourself, that trust in yourself. So AI is going to be very helpful to each one of us, क्योंकि AI से हर इंसान कुछ ना कुछ प्रोड्यूस कर सकता है, कुछ ना कुछ आउटपुट लेके आ सकता है. प्लीज थिंक अबाउट इट. दिस इज a good food for thought, that how every business, every person who's producing anything, they can do better with what they're doing at the moment. Okay, that is where your AI will come into picture.